The following is a feature presentation of SVGN, the Sports Video Game Network.
Fenway Park, Madison Square Garden, Lambeau Field. What do all three of these stadiums have in common? They are the meccas of their respective sports stadiums. And today, the Green Bay Packers will be hosting a game in their mecca, Lambeau Field, as they take on the New Orleans Saints in a battle that could determine the NFC playoff picture, as these two teams might just be playing each other in the near future once again. Welcome everybody to the second of our two Week 16 Games of the Week here on SVGN, the Sports Video Game Network. Hello everybody, I am your host and broadcaster, Joe. What a season it has been for both of these teams, the Packers and the Saints. The Saints were in a division where, unless you were the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, you were not expected to do anything of substance this year. And meanwhile, the Green Bay Packers, everyone was so caught up on the Lions and what they were going to be doing that people underestimated them, it seems, because now Green Bay currently leads a three-way race for the NFC North crown. These two teams are both surprises to be leading their divisions, that's for sure. And they're in pretty good playoff positioning for both of them. Currently, right now, Green Bay is one of the two teams that will have a bye week. But if things go the way these two teams need them to, Green Bay could be hosting this same game again in the divisional round. What do I mean by this? Well, if we take a look at the standings, let's start with the NFC South. The Saints currently on top at 8-5. They are one game ahead of the Falcons, so they can't clinch it this week, but things could go well for them if they can win next week and this week. They will be the NFC South champions. And then meanwhile at the bottom, you have the Buccaneers and the Panthers. Meanwhile, looking over to the NFC North, the Vikings are out of this entirely, but the Packers, Bears, and Lions are in a three-way tie. Green Bay currently has the tiebreaker over those two teams due to the head-to-head amongst them all. They're at 2-1 against the Bears and Lions. Chicago is 1-1, and Detroit is 1-2. And meanwhile, the Bears and Lions will actually be playing each other later on in the week. So things could get shaken up, but if things hold the way they are right now, Green Bay will be the team that will come away with the NFC North crown. And if we look at the overall NFC playoff picture, like I said, Packers are the 2 seed, the Saints are the 3 seed. So that means that the Saints stay as the 3 seed and Packers stay as the 2 seed. New Orleans would need to win their game that they would be hosting for the playoffs, and then they would be taking on Green Bay in the divisional round. Things could be very interesting. Now, the Saints are 8-5. The Falcons are the second team out as of right now. So, if New Orleans were to lose and Atlanta were to win their game this week, that would mean that the Falcons would probably jump up into the first team out, depending on what happens between Tampa Bay and Dallas, because Dallas is the first team out as of right now. Atlanta would still be ahead of them, but we will see how things go. We're going to take a small break for now, and when we come back, we will take you down to Lambeau Field to start this game. And here we are at glorious Lambeau Field in Green Bay. The Saints will call tails. It's actually going to be heads, so the Packers will elect to return this. Blake Groupie will be the kicker, and back to return for Green Bay is Keyshawn Nixon. We've seen both these two teams earlier this season. How will they do today? Nixon going to take this from about the 2-yard line. Gets up to the 25 before he's taken down. Let's take a look at the Green Bay Packers starting offense. Jordan Love in his 5th year with the league, but the 2nd year as the Packers full-time starter. He's got Josh Jacobs lining up behind him, the new offseason acquisition that Green Bay got from Las Vegas. Christian Watson, Jaden Reed, and Romeo Doubs are the wide receiving core for Green Bay. Luke Musgrave is at tight end. He will be lining up on the line alongside Josh Myers, Elton Jenkins, rookie Jordan Morgan out of University of Arizona, Rasheed Walker, and Zach Tom. Matt LaFleur in his 6th year as the Packers head coach, and the 3rd-year offensive coordinator is Adam Stenovich. First and 10 for Green Bay. Love going to hand this one off to Jacobs, and he's not going to get too far, only gains 3. Let's take a look at the starting defense for the New Orleans Saints. Chase Young, Nathan Shepard, and Kalen Saunders are the defensive linemen. At the linebacker positions, you have Pete Werner, Demario Davis, Willie Gay, and Cameron Jordan. Marshawn Lattimore and Paulson Adebo are the corners for the Saints. And at the safety positions, you have former LSU Tiger Tyrann Mathieu and Jordan Howden from Minnesota in his 2nd year. Joe Woods, the 2nd-year defensive coordinator for the Saints. And at special teams coordinator is Darren Rizzi. Second and 7 for Green Bay. Love dropping back. Plenty of time. Going to run 40. Ran out of time. Pete Werner there with the sack for the Saints. So that's a loss of 7 on that one. Love dropping back. Going to get this one off in time for Christian Watson, who leaps up to grab it in Saints territory. He's still on his feet. Can he? Could he? Will he? He will not. He's going to get taken down at about the 11-yard line. They're going to call it the 12, though. First and 10. Love running out of time. Got to get this one off. Throws for Jacobs, but it's incomplete. Had to get it out of there, so good thing for them to get it out with an incomplete rather than a sack. Love going to try and run forward with it himself. Going to get wrapped up before Tyrann Mathieu there with the sack. The Honey Badgers still got it in him on the loss of 2 there. Love running forward. Going to get this one off for Reed. He's got the touchdown there. Very quick score by the Green Bay offense. Nice work by Jordan Love. Despite getting sacked twice, he did a good job managing things. Braden Arveson, the rookie kicker, it is good. So the former NC State kicker will be kicking this off. And that is Jordan Mims will be returning it. And he's at the 20, 25, and down at the 29. Let's take a look at the starting offense for the Saints. At quarterback is Derek Carr. In his 11th year in the league out of Fresno State. Spent a good chunk of that time with the Raiders before coming over here with the Saints. At the running back positions, you have Taysom Hill and Alvin Kamara. At the wide receiver positions, you have Chris Olave. And replacing the injured Rashid Shaheed is Cedric Wilson Jr. Jawan Johnson is the tight end for New Orleans. And he'll be lining up on the line alongside Eric McCoy, Nick Saldiveri, Cesar Ruiz, Talise Fuaga, the rookie out of Oregon State, and Trevor Penning. Dennis Allen, the 3rd-year head coach for the Saints, and the offense coordinator is Clint Kubiak. First and 10 for New Orleans. Carr dropping back. Got to find somebody open. Throwing for Olave, but incomplete. There was some coverage there, too. Got to be careful. Second and 10 for New Orleans. Carr dropping back once again. Got to get this off in time. But incomplete, thrown out of bounds. That defense was breaking through quick on a blitz. So, 3rd and 10. And Rashawn Gary there with the sack. Nice job by Green Bay. And the Saints will be punting it. This is Matthew Hayball, the rookie punter out of Vanderbilt. And Keyshawn Nixon will be back to return for Green Bay. He's going to take this from about the 17, it looks like, before he's taken down at the 29. First and 10 for Green Bay to start there. Love dropping back, looking for an open man. Going to throw it to his left, and it's out of bounds. Romeo Doubs was close by, but not able to quite get it. Second and 10. Love looks and throws to his right for Christian Watson, who's got the first down and into Saints territory, avoiding 2 tackles, and he fumbled the ball! It's bouncing around, who's going to get it? It's picked up by Jordan Howard into the Saints as he's fighting for extra yardage and taken down at his 39-yard line. The defense coming up big there. And Carr going to get sacked by Kenny Clark for the loss of 8. So it'll be 2nd and 18. What a wild series of events there. As Kamara fighting for yardage, but only going to get 4 on that one. 3rd and 14. Carr dropping back. Going to throw this one to his right for Alvin Kamara with the screen pass. And I don't think he got it. He did not. Short by a yard. Got 13 when he needed 14. So Hayball with the punt. Nixon will be back to return. And he'll be in the end zone for the touchback. 1st and 10 for Green Bay. Going to start this at their own 25. Love stepping back quite a bit. Throw is deflected. Incomplete. That was heading towards the right. 2nd and 10. Love stepping back for throwing for Jaden Reed. He's got him. And he's got the first down with it. A little bit of coverage, but he got the throw off. Love looking for somebody open. Plenty of time to throw for Romeo Doubs. Doubs is gone. No one going to be even close to catching him. Touchdown, Green Bay. And with that, they take a 2-score lead over the Saints. Kick on the way, and it's good. And so, the Saints falling behind by double digits to start this game. Not very good for them. As Mims going to break a tackle, get to the 20, 25, and down for 26. New Orleans still has plenty of game left. We're only in the first quarter, but you're going to probably start being worried as Carr going to get taken down by Keyshawn Nixon. 2nd and 13. Carr stepping back, running forward with it. And he's going to get the first. He's going to get past the line of scrimmage, but he will get stopped. And before I forget, we do need to cover that Packers defense. That is my bad, folks. Preston Smith, Darryl Slayton, and Kenny Clark are the defensive linemen for Green Bay. At the linebacker positions are Isaiah McDuffie, Keyshawn Nixon, Quay Walker, and Rashawn Gary. Jair Alexander and Eric Stokes are the corners. And rookie Javon Bullard is the starting free safety. He's the starting safety alongside Xavier McKinney, who is the strong safety out of Alabama. Jeff Hafley, the first-year defensive coordinator for Green Bay, and special teams coordinator is Rich Bisaccia. 3rd and 2 for the Saints to start this second quarter. A toss for Kamara. He's got the first down easily. He's taken down around the 39. Gained about 4 on that one. He only needed 2. 1st and 10. Carr and shotgun. Gonna throw this to his right for Cedric Wilson. Wilson not gonna be able to get a score, but he will get into the red zone on a deep palm. He's taken down at the 19-yard line. So 1st and 10 for New Orleans there. Carr looks and throws for Wilson again, and he's got the touchdown. And with that, the Saints pull within 1 score, assuming they can get the extra point off here from Blake Grupe. And Grupe's kick on the way, and it is good. 14-7 to start the second quarter. Nixon will be back to return this from about half a yard deep in his own end zone. And get up to the 20. 25, still going. 30, 35 as he dodges the tackle. 40 and down at the 41. Amazing recovery there by Nixon. 1st and 10 for Green Bay. Love dropping back. Looking for somebody open. Throwing to his left for Romeo Doubs. Doubs, can he? Could he? Will he? He's getting wrapped up. And he's down at about the 7. Oh, I really thought he had that score. But that's a nice deep play there. Toss for Jacobs, who's going to run along the far sideline. Going to get wrapped up fighting for yards, but taken down at the 3. That's where the 2nd and goal will start. Toss for Jacobs yet again, this time running along the near side, running into the defender, but he's got it in for the touchdown. Green Bay taking control of this game easily. And aside from the fumble that they had earlier in the game, they have scored on every drive that they've touched the ball. They've not even needed to use their punter, Daniel Whelan, as they have a 21-7 lead, and Mim's going to get this from about the 4-yard line. He's up to the 20 now, and 25, breaking some tackles before he's down at about the 26. 1st and 10, New Orleans. Carr going to hand this off to Kamara, but he's going to get stuffed. 2nd and 11. Carr in shotgun formation. Looking for an open man. Going to run forward with this one. And he is going to try to get the first down himself, but he's short. 3rd and 1. Probably about 2 feet is all they need. And they give it to Kamara, and he fumbles the ball! And it goes right into Preston Smith's hands! He's got one man to beat, and he does! A scoop and score for Green Bay! And how about this Packers defense doing good work, too? They've been stopping the Saints when they need it most, as Narveson's kick on the way is good. 28-7. And New Orleans in need of some help. Mims going to take this up to the 20, down at the 26 now. 1st and 10 for the Saints. They need to get some good footing somewhere. Carr throw is for Wilson, and it's incomplete. 2nd and 10 for New Orleans. Man in motion. Carr gonna try and get something, but Quay Walker there with a sack to take him back. 3rd and 20. Carr stepping back. Throws to his left for Olave, but he can't connect with him. Incomplete. So they got to go with the punt. This is the 3rd punt made by Hayball today. And Nixon will be back to return this from about the 23 and down to the 30. That's where this drive will start for Green Bay's offense, which has been on all cylinders today. A throw for Luke Musgrave, and he's got the leaping grab here, and he's going to fumble the ball now, and it's bouncing around, and it goes into the hands of Paulson Adebo, the corner. He's at the 50 before he's still going. They can't take him down, and they finally take him down, actually. I was mistaken, but it's at the 27 of the Packers. Might have just gotten their 2nd win. And Kamara going to get to the 20 here for the gain of 7. How about this from the Saints? Could they make this comeback happen? A throw for Olave is in for the touchdown. Green Bay, a rare mistake there. That's their 2nd fumble, and it leads to the Saints scoring this time. 7 points off of that turnover. And the kick is through, 28-14. Nixon will be back to return. Not going to have much time to do anything with it before halftime. And the Saints will get the ball back at halftime, as Nixon was trying to fight to get through. But he gets taken out at the 16. Less than 30 seconds left. Love running out of time. Throw is for Jaden Reed deep, but he overthrows him. Incomplete. Time for maybe one more play before halftime. Toss for Jacobs. Jacobs running along the far sideline, breaking a tackle, but not able to do much else. And that's going to do it for the first half. Packers with the 28-14 lead over the Saints. Like I said earlier, New Orleans getting the ball to start the second half. Next week, it's a rare triple header for our games of the week, as we've got 3 games coming at you. First, a game on Christmas Day as Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs head to the Steel City to take on Russell Wilson and the Steelers. Then, a battle for the NFC East crown as Dak Prescott and the Cowboys take on their division rivals in the form of Jalen Hurts and the Eagles. And finally, a potential playoff preview, one that could determine seeding for the NFC, as Jared Goff and the Lions head out west to take on Brock Purdy and the 49ers. All that's coming up for you in our Week 17 Games of the Week here on SVGN, the Sports Video Game Network. And so the Saints need to try and get as much scoring as they can. With them being down by 2 scores, you never know what could happen with this Packers offense, as Mim's going to take this up to the 31-yard line. The Saints have not had a good day today on offense so far, as Carr's on shotgun formation. A throw for Hill is incomplete. Packers defense has been stuffing them. That's good work on Green Bay's defense. Carr dropping back on the 2nd and 10. Gonna throw this to his right for Wilson, who dives for it but can't quite connect with it. 3rd and 10. Carr gonna toss this one for Kamara. Kamara gonna try to fight for yardage but can't get anywhere. Gets maybe a foot or two. And so they're gonna have to go with the hay ball punt. Nixon will be back to return this. And he'll take it from about the 7 or 8. Looks like the 8, actually. And going to get taken down at the 23. So gain of 15 on that return. 1st and 10 for the Packers. Love looking and throwing for Reed. He's got the first down and more. He's going to get into New Orleans territory before he's taken down at about the 37. Last time the Packers were in a game of the week, they lost to the Lions as Dobbs tries to dive for this. And that was on Halloween. Meanwhile, the Saints were doing well against the Chargers before the Chargers came back the last time they were here on our game of the week, as Jacobs going to get stuffed behind the line for the loss of 3. 3rd and 13 on the 45 of the Saints. Defense breaks through! Kalen Saunders credited with the sack and pushes them back into Packers territory. And so it is Whelan who will be coming out to punt. Daniel Whelan. And Mim's going to take this from about 1 yard deep, 1 yard back. 1 yard out. My words fail me, sadly. As Carr going to start this drive from the 7. Going to run forward with it. Going to take it himself. Look at him move. He's got the first down, I think. They'll measure it, and he does. Nice legs there by Carr. Suppose you would expect a Carr to be moving quick. As Carr's going to try and run forward again, with Quay Walker there to take him down. Derek Carr has had a bit of an up and down career here in the NFL. Doing a lot better than what his brother David did as that pass goes incomplete, but he had some success with the Raiders. That's why he signed with the Saints, because this toss for Kamara doesn't go anywhere. And so the Saints will once again punt the ball. Nixon will be back to return. And he's going to take this from about the 37-yard line. Breaking a tackle. Still on his feet. He's going to get into the Saints territory. He's down at the 45 of the Saints. So that's where Green Bay's drive will start. Love dropping back. Gonna look and throw this one for Christian Watson. Watson! He's got it for the touchdown! How about the connection these two have had since Love has started as the quarterback for the Packers? A lot of people weren't sure about Green Bay drafting Aaron Rodgers' successor during the 2020 NFL Draft, but he seemingly worked out perfectly fine for them. As Mims will be back to return this one from about the 3-yard line. Gonna get it up to the 20 before he's taken down. So 1st and 10 at the 20. Carr going to hand this one off to Alvin Kamara, and he's taken down at the 25 with 2 minutes to go in the third quarter. The Saints need to minimize their mistakes if they want any chance of winning this. That's an incomplete. 3rd and 6. Carr dropping back. Tries to run forward. Kenny Clark, though, gets through with the sack. And so once again, the Saints will punt. Down by 3 scores. Nixon will be back to return. He'll take this from about the 28-yard line. Maybe the 27. And gets taken down at the 42 of the Packers. But still, at the 42. Good field position to start for Green Bay. Love, looking for an open man. Throws for Jaden Reed. He can't quite connect with him there. With less than a minute to go in this drive. With less than a minute to go in this quarter. Love hands it off to Jacobs. And he's going to get the first down and more. As he's taken down at the 37-38, it looks like. 1st and 10 for Green Bay. Love stepping back. Looking for Luke Musgrave over the middle. He's got him for the first down. And he's down at the 20. Got time for one more play in the 3rd quarter. Love tossing this for Josh Jacobs. Avoiding potential tackles, cutting back towards the middle. As he's got the first down. And that's where we're going to end the 3rd quarter. 4th quarter starts at the 10 of the Saints. 1st and goal. Love going to hand this one off to Jacobs. And he's going to fight for yards, but he fumbles the ball! And it's picked up by Demario Davis! The defense coming through when they need it. But they need to hurry. They need to score and score fast. Kamara going to run along the far sideline. And he's going to fumble the ball too, but he fumbles it out of bounds. And they're going to say he was short where he fumbled. So 2nd and 1. Kamara running up the gut. And he breaks through to about the 38. The Saints are doing well right now to start, but they need to keep up momentum. As a throw for Wilson, can't quite connect with him. 2nd and 10. Could the Saints make this comeback happen? We shall see. Carr, plenty of time. Throw is deep for Kamara. Leaping grab. Could he get the score here? No. Down at about the 19, maybe the 18. 1st and 10. Carr in shotgun formation with a man in motion. Got to look for somebody open. Plenty of space, plenty of time. Gonna throw this one for Kamara, and he's in for the touchdown. And the Saints, they got 1 score. They just need to make 2 more. And Blake Groupie, extra point kick on the way. It's up and it's good. So now if you're the Saints, the question is, do you go for the onside kick or not? They're going to go for a deep ball. You've got plenty of time left, but they need the defense to hold as best as they can. The Packers have only punted once, but they fumbled away drives 3 times today. The Saints defense needs to come through again and big time, as Jacobs going to run this one for a first down, still on his feet and barely outside of Saints territory. The Packers need to either score or just waste time on the clock, as Josh Jacobs going to run along the near side. They're playing it safe, as he's going to get the first down at the 39. 1st and 10 Green Bay. They could seal it here. A throw for Jacobs, that's a screen pass. And Jacobs still going. Down about the 21. Former teammate to Derek Carr. And now playing against him as the defense breaks through to stop Jacobs for a loss of 5. 2nd and long here for Green Bay. Jacobs going to get handed the ball yet again. And he's going to get stopped, but not after gaining 9. 3rd and 6. They don't even need to score a touchdown if they can score a field goal, but they're not going to go for the field goal. They're going for the touchdown. The connection of Love to Dobbs. And this game is pretty much over. That has sealed this game away. Braden Arveson kick on the way is good. 42-21 Pack. Mims will be back to return. This is really disappointing if you are the Saints. Packers might have just sealed up their own playoff spot. They might have just gotten that connected. As It's a nice connect run there by Mims on the kick return. Men in motion for New Orleans. Carr gonna look and throw for Wilson. He's got the first down, and he's down at about the 45. So 1st and 10 for the Saints in Green Bay territory. They might not be able to score. They might not be able to win this game, but they're going to play for pride anyway. Olave going to get to about the 10. And they're going to call their first timeout here. If the Saints are fast enough with their scoring, they might just be able to tie this game up at the last second. They'd also need some extreme luck as a throw for Olave is in for the touchdown. Great work by New Orleans. You know, both Green Bay and New Orleans going to keep on fighting, especially once it comes to playoff time. Kick from Blake Rupe on the way is good. And that'll be a 42-28 game. And they're going to go for the deep bomb. They know this one's pretty much over. Down by 3 scores like they are. Actually, it's 2 scores. My bad. 1:56 to go. Love going to hand this one off to Josh Jacobs. And he is going to break tackles as he keeps on fighting for yards down at the 19. And the Saints going to call their second timeout. The Packers and Saints both have some breather games next week. Or what should be breather games. But they could also be trap games as Love going to get sacked by Chase Young. Taking them back 8 yards. Like I said, both of these teams have some breather games next week as the Packers take on Minnesota. The Saints are going to take on the Raiders. Derek Carr revenge game, anyone? Josh Jacobs is going to get to about the 35. Just over a minute to go. And Love going to fight to get through, but Nathan Shepard going to take him down for the sack. And this game is going to be over. Jacobs going to run it along the far sideline. And he is not going to get the first down, but it won't matter anyway. 3rd and 1. Love dropping back. Going to try and run forward, fighting as he's wrapped up. But Kalen Saunders there for the sack. And the Packers will just decide to punt it. Play it safe. Whelan going to punt this ball to Mims. Mims going to be at the goal line. They'll call it a touchback, and that will do it. Packers come away with the 42-28 victory. That'll improve them to 10-4 and give them a leg up on a bunch of different teams in the playoff race. And meanwhile, the Saints drop to 8-6. That is going to have a big impact on the overall playoff standings. Still, both teams definitely put up one heck of a fight as best as they could. And taking a look at the division standings, we'll start with our winners, the Packers, now at 10-4. Pull a half game ahead of Chicago and Detroit. Whoever wins their game will be tied with them, but Green Bay still has the tiebreaker over them. And meanwhile, the Vikings are sadly sitting at the bottom of the division. But they do play Green Bay next week. Vikings might not be able to spoil their season necessarily, but they could at the very least keep them from having the NFC North crown. Meanwhile, with the Saints' loss, that means Atlanta is definitely hopeful. If they can win their game against the Giants this week, they will tie with the Saints. The Saints would still have the lead for the division via tiebreaker, as with a victory from the Falcons, the division rating between the two is the tiebreaker. But regardless, the Saints not in as good of a position as they were before. And taking a look at the overall standings in the NFC with Green Bay's victory, they are at 10-4, half a game behind the 49ers, who play the Dolphins this week. But this also means that if the Eagles lose to the Commanders in their game, it means the Packers have locked up a first-round bye for the playoffs. Meanwhile, the Saints, still the 4 seed, but if the Eagles lose to the Commanders, that means they'll go up to the 3 seed, which is the highest they can go now. And that is going to do it for us today. A reminder that we will have our Tecmo Rewind on Monday. On Christmas Day, we will have our first of our triple-header games between the Chiefs and Steelers. Come back on Saturday for a battle between the Cowboys and Eagles to determine the NFC East winner, and come back on next Sunday for the Detroit Lions and San Francisco 49ers. For all of us here at SVGN, the Sports Video Game Network, I'm your host, Joe, saying good night, everybody!